Welcome to Wranglers TV. I'm your host, Olivia McDonald, and today I am lucky enough to be joined by Sandra Prusina, the Wranglers play-by-play announcer. So Sandra, we're going to take a little bit of a look back at last weekend's game. The Wranglers took on Colorado and unfortunately did face a loss on Friday, but a win on Saturday. So let's take a look at Friday. What do you think they were kind of missing in that game?
Well, I think the key thing coming from that game was the lack of discipline. 44 penalty minutes alone for the Wranglers. And when you get yourself into that kind of penalty trouble, it's tough to recover, right? You saw Colorado score 3 power play goals, and then after that, you're just chasing. And instead of being proactive, you're being reactive. So I think for the Wranglers right now, it's about finding that balance. You want to be a physical team, you want to be hard on the puck, you want to finish your checks, but you still want to stay disciplined and don't want to find yourself in the penalty box. So I think for a young team like the Wranglers, that was a big turning and learning point for them in that loss.
And okay, so let's take a look now at Saturday. They did come home with their very first win. What went right in that game?
Okay, I'm going to trot out a sports cliche. But your best players, when they're your best players, you're probably going to win. And that's exactly what happened. Connor Zary, the Flames' first-round pick, he picks up two goals, probably his best performance, I would say, of this season. And then Matthew Phillips, another multi-point performance for him. Dustin Wolf, I think, to pick up that W is huge, not only for him, but for the team. He's coming into his sophomore season, his second pro season, and I think for him, you don't want to hear that term sophomore slump. He got that off his back, the first win. Now he can just concentrate on being Dustin Wolf and knowing what he does best and do that game in and game out. And I think we would be remiss not to mention the captain, Brett Sutter, and not to pick on him, but he's the only player over the age of 30 on this team, so he will have to lead by example, both on and off the ice. He leads the team in points, so obviously he's holding up that end of the bargain, but they're learning from him. I mean, he's almost played 1,000 AHL games, and he's come home to play in Southern Alberta. I think it's an awesome story, so they can look to him, and he had a lot to do with that win versus the Eagles.
When you said a hockey cliche, I thought you were going to say pucks in deep.
Oh, yeah, that's for the coaches and for the period interviews.
Exactly. Now, okay, so they're headed to actually Seattle to take on the Coachella Valley Firebirds. So kind of taking a look ahead at this coming weekend, what do the guys have to focus on heading in there?
Well, what's really neat is we're not even 2 weeks removed from them playing Coachella. They played here in Calgary, unfortunately went 0-2 against that team, a very veteran team, a lot of AHL veterans on Coachella, but you know what to expect this time around. Cole Lind, he went on a heater in Calgary. He picked up 6 points in 2 games. Andrew Podorowski, he led the AHL in scoring last year. He's on Coachella now, so you know who you have to watch. But this is going to be interesting because Joey Decord, he actually got called up by Seattle. He was their goalie for those 2 games against Calgary. So that means the Wranglers will be facing a different netminder. So that might be taking a little bit pressure, saying like, okay, that guy stoned us for a couple of games. How can we get the puck past him? They don't have to worry about that now. So it's interesting. The season isn't that deep, but you get a redo really, really quickly. And now you can make your mark in this Pacific battle.
Well, thank you for that insight. A lot of knowledge that I'm sure a lot of people weren't aware of quite yet heading into especially this weekend's game. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
And welcome to the Wranglers as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.